7 years ago, I was a doctor, and 2 years after that, after I learned about Take Shape for Life, I hung up my white coat and my stethoscope and became a full-time certified health coach with Take Shape for Life. And I want to share with you what I realized, because actually another healthcare professional called me up. She was amazed. How could you do that? Doctor, all this prestige, all this stuff. And I realized that my ego had been compromising my life and my dreams and my future. And I stopped and challenged and chose, even though I wasn't familiar with the power of that orientation. Looking back, that's what I did. What I realized was, after sharing Take Shape for Life with my patients, was very simple. I was helping my patients more as a health coach than I ever did as a doctor. Think about that. Most of the diseases I reacted to and treated were chronic diseases. They're not chronic diseases. They're diseases that, quite frankly, we empower to be chronic. We make chronic. We allow them to be chronic. It's like if you're a lifeguard and someone's drowning in the middle of a lake, you swim out there with a life preserver. Hey, Charlie, here's the life preserver, and then you swim to shore and leave Charlie so he can tread water in the middle of the lake. That's what most of our drugs and surgery do. We maintain a state of sickness. We may deal with some signs and symptoms of disease, and certainly for acute illness and trauma, we have the best healthcare system in the world. But most of what we do is allow disease to fester and grow. We maintain its chronicity, because what happens when you shine the light of health on an individual and teach and empower them and guide them as a health coach with a new theory, a new method, a new process, you can change the world. That disease then can improve or resolve completely. It's not only no longer chronic, the disease is no longer there to continue to be chronic. It's very important to understand we can maintain sickness and non-sickness, or we can offer the most powerful realization, which is that healing comes from within each and every one of us. Our bodies, with all the pills and all the surgery. You know, in the Middle Ages, when people had psychiatric problems, you know, they would drill holes in their skulls to let the evil humors out. Well, I'm here to tell you that in the future, probably not too far from now, people are going to look back at the operating room, slicing the sternum open, spreading it apart, attaching veins and arteries to arteries and veins, as Dr. A shared, and say, what were they thinking? You know, 95% of coronary disease is habits of disease induced. What if doctors didn't have pills or surgery? You know what we discover? We discover those doctors who actually want to help their patients get healthy. Because if that's all we had, that might be all that we would do. You know, my life now is so full and so rich. I am so happy. I just, you know, Joe said to me, Mark, you're happier now than you were 7 years ago. I said, yeah, because I am. You know, like, I can't stop smiling. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I climbed a 14,000-foot mountain with Dan Bell and Eric Blanchard and Dr. Greg Morper. And let me tell you something, I had the time of my life. And as I was climbing, I thought, 14,000 feet, 14,000 coaches, we can change the world. We can change the world. And we will. You know, one of the things Archimedes said, he said, if I had a lever long enough, I could move the earth. Well, that lever is Take Shape for Life, ladies and gentlemen. But it's only a lever if we act as one. We are one. And this is why this is so amazing and alive for me. I have my life back. I was growing estranged from my wife and my children. And we are now a family of love and support. And Margaret, thank you. My wife is amazing. I love her. And now I shut up and listen to her because she's a lot smarter than me. But, you know, we are one. See, that's what this is. And when we move together, using one system, one process. When we do that, when we understand that it's not about us, we will and can change the world with Take Shape for Life. Thank you, Dr. Anderson. Thank you, Lori and Dan and Mike and corporate and Meg and everyone. And thank all of you, because we are one. And let me just say one last thing. And that is that nothing is created in the past and nothing is created in the